What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and the Ivy League? We are rIVerse. My name is Diz.
I'm Khadija.
My name is Zach.
And I'm Monroe.
We thought it was important to wrap up our Seoul adventures with a recap video where the four of us can share with you guys our experiences from our Korean adventure. So sit back and stay tuned and watch and listen and let's go.
Yeah. Can I go first?
Mm-hmm.
Magical.
Freeing.
Can it be like two? I want to get life-changing. I knew you were gonna say that.
Ooh, okay. Self-discovery.
Ladrão.
Okay. Cool.
The highlight of the adventure to Korea, I would probably say busking and interacting with the new fans and the fans that saw us and recognized us and know us from the YouTube show and who came to multiple shows, being able to perform for them and connect with them. And there was a moment that Monroe actually incorporated into the show where we're singing Born This Way, and we literally have them all come like literally this close to us, and we're singing to them. Literally at one point I was on my knees singing to people, and it was just such a magical moment to connect with them. And it just showed me how powerful music is, because there was a language barrier, but it didn't matter. Like, it was a human connection, and for me that was probably the highlight of the trip.
For me, so we often say, because it's true, that rIVerse is like a well-oiled machine in that, because of course we're independent, and a lot of the writing and the styling and the choreography, and not only that kind of creative aspect, but also the operations, or the mechanically getting to Korea, getting equipment, finding place, the scheduling of that all. It was like that put into practice. It was seeing something kind of happen that was just like rIVerse, its team, its members, we made it happen. And also people who contributed and people that were part of that well-oiled machine through our fundraising and stuff. So it was just really kind of like awesome to live through.
I think for me, it was also the busking, but it was specifically the day, I think it might have been our very last day busking, where we were setting up our equipment, we're like plugging in mics. We hadn't even done a mic check yet. Like, they didn't hear anything. All they had were banners behind us, and we're setting up our equipment. But as we were doing it, we're all talking and we're warming up, like doing vocal exercises. And then at one point we looked up, and there was a crowd of people around us. Yeah. And they were ready. They were waiting for us. Like, I feel like in Hongdae especially, people kind of saw us a few times, so they knew what to expect. They knew what was gonna happen. And then other people were just like really curious. Who are these very interesting, cool, good-looking people, and what are they gonna do? And one of the store owners who was behind us came outside, and he was like getting upset. He's like, this crowd needs to move. They can't stand here. It's too many people. And we were like, we didn't even start yet. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That was cool. Yeah. That was a really, like, we didn't expect anything like that, but without even doing anything, we got this great crowd response. Yeah.
They literally said everything that I was gonna say anyways. I think just to add on top of that, there were a lot of important meetings and connections that we made in Korea, and that was also a highlight. So what they said and that.
Plus that. I can't even really call this it was a challenge, but it only lasted that long. But upon arriving in Korea, the first day, I kind of mentioned this, I believe, in one of the vlogs, but I didn't ever talk about it. But the first day, literally, we were in Korea for just a couple hours, and Zach and I had gone for a run. And on the way back, I had just experienced some looks of disapproval. And it really, and I'll just kind of like leave it there. But it really kind of shook me. Sorry, I'm spitting all over the place.
Okay, Zach.
there were some kind of looks that really shook me at my core because obviously we know in this world we face prejudices and
Judgment,
racism and judgment, discrimination and different things like that. But I hadn't really experienced those types of looks in years. But when I was there, it was literally in my face and from multiple people. On my way, I ran back to where we were staying on my own. So I continued running, and when I was on my own, I just had a lot of people, like literally, it felt like I was like garbage. And so I had a full-on breakdown. I was like bawling in the Airbnb, and I just brought everybody around and just let them know what had happened and let everybody know that I might need support, because in my mind I thought the whole Korea trip was going to be that. I was bracing myself to experience racism for my whole trip, but the universe quickly said nah. And literally that exact evening, it was just the area that we were staying in. It was a lot older. It was an older
Just like
some older people in that location, where I'm sure they're just not exposed, they're not used to seeing people of color or different types of people. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that evening we went to another location. We went clubbing in one of the areas where Hyundai, and there was a younger group of people, and I just experienced the complete opposite. Like I was shown nothing but love. Like we went into some of the clubs and people were just like, ooh, handsome, rubbing my face and very cool, telling me that they thought I was handsome and they loved my hair. And at one point I went to use the washroom and they all pushed me to the front of the line and asking where I was from. People were buying me drinks. So it was a complete opposite experience. It was like two sides of the coin that I was shown in one day within hours. And so I think it was just like a choice that I had to make. Like, what was I gonna focus on? Was I gonna focus on what happened in the morning, or am I gonna focus my energy on what we're there for and spreading love and light, kind of how I was being shown love that way. So that was a challenge that I got through. So.
What was challenging for me was I have basically kind of crafted this life of independence here in Toronto, and in the way I do things and the time in which I do things and how I might do something. And a lot of that here in Toronto was initially kind of out of necessity because of really building walls after I kind of overcame some personal addiction issues. So then to kind of be thrown into like a new country without those same kind of walls of security around me, granted like with my family that, you know, is there to support me, but I felt like a little exposed in a way. I don't have other areas of support that I might rely on here, or the, you know, familiar places and things to keep my mind from kind of rolling into darker places and, you know, things like that. So that's what I found interesting. I have long feared traveling because it's also always ended a little poorly in my prior life, and so I was really nervous about that part. So it was challenging, but it was also like I when I was there, I had this feeling as though I was safe with you guys. So
that's good. I think for me, the biggest challenge was by the end of the trip. It really was the schedule, which I kind of knew before we went there. That was kind of my nervous thing about traveling for a month and having everything that we had planned and working and whatever, and like being in a house with 4 other people all the time and like all of that. The schedule was something that it caught up to me by the end of the trip, that like Zach said, we are a well-oiled machine and we do everything ourselves, so that there really wasn't like a day where if we weren't out performing, then we were like planning what the next thing is, or if we weren't planning what the next thing is, then we're rehearsing, or we're like, it was always kind of something. And like I'm thinking about things that we have to do in Toronto when we get back, so that we're not like behind schedule when we get back here. And like it was just a lot all the time, and I'm used to being able to, at the end of a day, I go home and I like cocoon myself in my bedroom by myself, and I have time to decompress. And I didn't really have that there. And I kind of like, I knew that that is going to be my challenge moving forward when we're working more and we're traveling more, we're on tour, whatever. Like I need to kind of find ways for myself to. Is somebody calling on a phone right now? That's so rude. Anyway, yeah, that was the challenge, that like by the last week of the trip, we were saying we didn't really schedule too much in the last week, and we were just kind of like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to plan anything. I don't want to, where's the next place we're going? Like, nowhere. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit down and not have to think about anything for a hot minute.
And watch Bongsoon.
And watch Bongsoon, literally. Like, that was all I wanted to do. So that, I think, was my biggest challenge for the whole trip.
I think for me, it was more so challenges within myself, because when when we came to Korea, I was really, really nervous because I didn't know how the people were going to react to me. As you know, K-pop idols, they look a certain way, and they're just all like super like thin, and I'm not. So within myself, I was like, am I gonna fit in? Like, are they gonna accept me? Are they gonna like me? And it was real quick, kind of with Diz, where they were like, hell yeah, you're great, we like you. And the response was just, was overwhelming. And so that's why in my previous answer, I had said that this trip was life-changing, because it had opened up my eyes to so much, and a lot of self-confidence I discovered within myself, and faith, and just like, it's good. I am okay just the way that I am, and people are going to enjoy me because there are people who also look like me, and I think that's very important for the world to see.
I feel like all of us gained kind of that groundedness and that confidence in ourselves and in rIVerse, that we can go out and do whatever. Like, rIVerse is all about representing the underrepresented and self-acceptance and self-love, but even within that, this is the message that we preach every day. That doesn't mean that we have it perfected. We have our own challenges all the time that we have to face, and it's a constant, it's constant work and self-reflection and growth that happens every single day. And I feel like this trip, we had so many conversations that we were up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, just being like,
in the kitchen,
this trip is so amazing. I feel like my life is changing, because it is like a lot of those little things that, like, I love myself and I'm super confident here in Toronto, but I still have that doubt that when I go somewhere else, or I'm in a new environment, or I'm around new people, a different demographic where people don't look like me or whatever, like those little fears that are in our heads still, that like we looked at each other like, no, we got this. We're good. We got this.
Like, to have people come up to you and say that, like, you're my idol, I idolize you, like, I look up to you. When you hear these words, you're kind of like, me? Like, you really like me? Like, you look up to me? And it's like, you have to remind yourself that, yes, you are capable of all of these things for someone to look up to you that way. But yeah, no, I totally agree. That's so true.
I think definitely for me, it's exactly what Kitty just said, but the way that I kind of sum it up in my own head is like, it's a fearlessness. There's a fearlessness.
Yeah, you use that word a lot.
Yeah, that's what I left with. It's like to go across the world and on your own, like there's not another entity like doing it for you. Like, you made the choice and y'all made it happen, and we went to Korea into complete unknown world, unknown territory, and to do what we did out there and be successful at it, and just literally we just put ourselves out there. And then now I just feel like we can do anything. We can go anywhere. All the fears of, ooh, like, I wonder how these people might react to me. They're gone, and like they're just not there anymore whatsoever. And I know that even within my performing, I gained a fearlessness in like literally just giving every single part of myself to the performance and being right in that moment. It just, on all levels, just the fearlessness for me, for sure.
I gained an addiction to fried chicken.
Oh my god.
I
Facts.
gained a love of the Korean people and the culture. I gained an appreciation for like a like such a respectful society in like a well constructed design and infrastructure, city. That wasn't like a proper sentence, but that makes sense to me. They covered it already, but for me, the kind of the fearlessness in the performance and all of that was really finally internalizing and like accepting like that. Like I'm an artist, like, you know what I mean? Like it's so hard to, when no one's at times, validating necessarily what you might be doing, that obviously kind of tears away little chips through time. Now you have to kind of like power through that, and but it was just really, it was that, like, when it was a moment where you're like, I'm in the right place at the right time doing the right thing with the right people.
Yes.
And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And the performances were fly.
Yes.
Yes. And so we're
The men, say
the
it.
men.
Say it. The men.
She had a lot of fans, y'all. Just leave it at that.
Wow.
We have an EP coming out. There's gonna be new music videos coming out. More rIVerse reacts. We have Dance with Motherfucking Diz that just started. We're gonna have some other featured channels for everybody else in the group. For the YouTube, album, music videos. Our live show is being completely revamped and we're upping the ante on that. And we're just gonna take the shit around the world, y'all.
So we just might come to a city near you.
Yeah.
You never know.
Listen,
You never
if
know.
y'all want, that's good. That we should mention that. If any of you Ivy League out there would like rIVerse to perform in your city, in your country, or whatnot, DM us on Instagram at rIVerse Live. Let's get to discussing, because again, we went out to Korea and there was a whole fan base out there that we didn't even know existed.
We had no idea.
Yeah.
We were walking on the streets
Thank
and
you.
every single day, we were recognized, we were seen. People would, even if they recognized us and they were too scared to talk to us, they'd message us on social media saying, I was behind you in the line. And I
was
knew
too
it was
nervous to
you.
say something.
Your Korean was very good.
Yes. So if you guys out there would like rIVerse to perform in your city, holler at us. Let's get to talking and we'll see what we can do and we'll make it work.
Thank you so much for watching the Seoul Sunday vlog series. We have more vlogs coming to the channel, so stay tuned. And if you don't already, be sure to follow us on all other social media platforms. It's at rIVerse Live, RIVERSE Live. Our hearts for you, Ivy League.
We love you.
We should use actually the same music that the Seoul
The
vlogs
vlogs,
had.
yeah.
Yeah.
With my hair mashed up. My head's tied. I have makeup on.
And Zach's like, I will no longer be here for the duration of the trip. The drama. Did you guys see episode 3 when Zach left?
You know what's so funny is everyone's
Next
like,
time.
where's Zach? Is he out of the group? I'm like, yeah. I'm just kidding. No.
Next time on rIVerse Vlogs.
Okay.
Zach returns.
Like, I've been trying for 10 years. I cannot be in your triangle mode. No. No, like it's hard. It's good.
That's like,
No drama.
I'm trying to. You know what his face looks like? You know that cartoon emoji where it's like LOL and his lips are like. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
Every time I come around, another bad boy now. Got him like, hit him on my love life. But they come back and
Señorita, viva la vida loca mamacita. I feel so lucky.
Showing your beauty, classy girl.
I feel so lucky. Walking in the hood just like a pearl. I feel so lucky.
Sweet talk to me, babe. It's magical. Sweet lullaby.
Knock, knock, knock,
Na na na.
Really, 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 really.
future. My feelings so